What's going on, everyone? So, according to Jovan Buha, JJ Redick says that the Lakers are going to play more two big lineups moving forward in small doses. He said he made the adjustment to help shore up the team's defense and rebounding. Now, you did see Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis in that game against the Miami Heat. JJ Redick played both of them before earlier in the season, and then JJ said that he didn't like the way that the current centers that we have fit alongside Anthony Davis, right? That he'd rather go, with like LeBron or Rui or something like that alongside Anthony Davis, which I don't really blame him for, right? Like Jackson Hayes is great, but in small doses, which is why I think JJ even said small doses, right? Jackson Hayes is one of those guys like in 8 minutes of action, he's perfect. High energy, high effort, right? Works hard. You never worried about his energy or lack thereof, or effort or lack thereof. But he's a guy that's just not very disciplined, right? He's a little sporadic, can kind of be all over the place, right? And it's just you don't get that. They don't complement each other well, right? Like, and it's not even about like the floor spacing, right? Like obviously it'd be nice to have if Jackson Hayes could shoot 36% from three, but it's more so just about, again, the compliments, right? Like both guys having that defensive skill set, so Anthony Davis doesn't have to clean up as much. If Jackson Hayes was a better rebounder, he's not really this like super elite rebounder. He has games, he has moments, right? But for the most part, he's a guy that just kind of more often than not is out of position to get the rebound, right? So I do understand JJ Redick's reluctancy of playing two bigs. The fact that they brought in Trey Jameson hopefully means that maybe we'll see more of him. I actually like him more slotted alongside Anthony Davis than Jackson Hayes, because what Jameson does is he gives you that big physical presence that can rebound and block shots, that paired alongside Anthony Davis, I think would just make for a much better duo. I think that their skill sets complement each other a little more. Jameson has a little bit better lower center of gravity. He's a lot better disciplined as far as like not falling for the bait and stuff like that. Obviously he's not a perfect center. He's not like, oh, that's it, Jameson solves all the Lakers' problems. But I do think he's a guy that really can make an impact for the Lakers and kind of really, I think could move the needle a little more than Jackson Hayes would. Same thing with Christian Koloko. I like Koloko more because, again, he's Jackson Hayes, but better shot blocking, and he's in better control, right? Like Christian Koloko doesn't have the size that Jameson does, but he has the discipline and understanding of like where he needs to be most of the time. None of the options are really great or ideal, right? Like not as if it was like a Jonas Valanciunas or Walker Kessler or a Nikola Vucevic. Like guys like that I feel much more comfortable with, but you got to take what you can get, right? And I am not against them playing the two center lineup. I'm not against them playing double the big man, but again, like JJ said, small doses. I think he's right about that. If Jackson Hayes is kind of your guy, one of the things that I see regularly is what's going on with Christian Koloko, right? And it's something that also ties into Trey Jameson, right? They can only play 50 games a season, right? So, and Koloko's already at like 20 something, right? So they have to be very cautious. They have to be very careful on how they play guys. And kind of picking and choosing your spots. You can't just have guys and just throw them out there. You kind of are stuck with running Hayes. But now that you have Trey Jameson on the roster, I'd like to see him, get at least a couple handful of games, right? Can we get, 5 games or whatever to kind of see what does he do, what does he provide as we inch closer to the trade deadline, and see, is he a guy that just makes more sense, right? As like your third backup, or if the Lakers aren't going to trade for a center, does he make more sense as your backup over a Koloko or Hayes? I actually think Trey Jameson has the potential to be that. I did a whole video breaking down Trey Jameson over on As It Stands Lakers. So if you want some more like kind of in-depth breakdown on Jameson, kind of get more perspective on who he is as a player, then yes, I 100% recommend go check out that video, of course, after this video. But sticking to this video, Trey Jameson, I do think can potentially play the role that we need him to play. I like him more than Jackson Hayes again. I I still think Trey Jameson is probably best as like your third center. However, I still prefer him as like your third center as opposed to like your primary backup. But who knows, right? Right place, right situation, right team, right role. You'd be surprised what somebody can do. You see it all the time. A guy is like pedestrian one place, goes to another place, and is actually really good, right? And I also think a lot of Trey's lack of productivity has just been kind of a factor of environment, right? Kind of just got the poo-poo into the stick on several occasions. But obviously, I'd still prefer a trade. I'd like to, if the Lakers got a Nikola Vucevic or a Jonas Valanciunas or something like that. Got one of these guys that they could plug in and kind of play a specific role. I'd actually would prefer that if possible. You could argue that the reason the Lakers brought in Jameson is because they're probably not going to do that, right? They're probably not going to bring in one of these centers, that they'll probably focus more on the perimeter, which I'm okay with. I've talked numerous times that I actually think the perimeter is more of a priority, should take precedent over a center, because I just think you need somebody serviceable, especially once you get to the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, Anthony Davis is playing 40 minutes a game at the center spot, right? So you're just looking for somebody to come in, play that like 8 to 12-minute slot, depending on that, and then, on occasion slide and play alongside Anthony Davis. But I would like to see more double big pairings, right? In particular matchups. Some matchups it makes sense to go smaller, right? Like in some matchups, even it makes sense to go like small ball, right? It just I just want the Lakers to have the flexibility of doing a little bit of everything, right? Like when you need, and you're probably best at Anthony Davis at the center, then fine, do that. When you're in a position where it's like, okay, we need a match size, so okay, fine, go with the two bigs. When it's hey, we need, we're playing the Warriors and they have Draymond at the 5, fine, then go with like Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui, and LeBron, right? Like, I just think having that versatility and that flexibility, I think, just really goes a long way. And I'd like to see them kind of continue to trudge down that road in the versatility department. But overall, anything you could do to kind of take some pressure off Anthony Davis would be great, right? The more pressure you can take off of him, the better. But I also want to make sure that, the Lakers are doing what they need to do out there on the basketball court, and also need to get the right pieces that fit and make sense in that regard. Because it's not as simple as just throwing guys out there and hoping for the best, right? Fingers crossed type thing. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But what do you think? As always, this is a discussion. And I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of running the two bigs with, a Jackson Hayes or a Koloko or a Jameson? Do you think, no, you got to get another center. You got to get a better center. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.